and we will get started. So, okay, today's topic is move up buying in 2023. How to get a bigger, nicer house, even with today's higher prices and rates. I've been hearing a lot from people recently. We've talked to different clients, and just it's a very common conversation that people maybe want to move up to a bigger house, but why would you want to give up your low interest rate on the old one just to borrow more and end up with a much higher monthly payment? And so there are some strategies that we can put together to help people to qualify for a bigger house without breaking their budget. So let me share a couple of things with you here. On the call, we have, my name is Daniel Jackson, loan officer here on the Jackson team at Nova Home Loans. We also have Paula and Joe from my team are here. You guys can, hey, okay. So they're helping me out with answering questions in the chat and things like that. So, and you guys feel free to jump in if you have anything to add to whatever we're talking about. So there's a few stats that I've seen recently that I think are contributing to where we're at in the market today. This top one up here shows you that the personal savings rate is down to really long time lows. People are saving less, and at the same time, credit card balances are starting to rise. I mean, skyrocket really, but as the credit card balances are going up, so are interest rates. The interest rates have gone up from 8 to 14 to now it's close to 20%. The average car payment in the US right now is about $800. So one silver lining when it comes to housing is that the average loan to value of homes is steadily dropping. In 2008, people owned on average 81%, or they owed 81% of their home's value. We had a lot of people upside down in 2008. But over the years, it's been steadily dropping. In 2022, the number is 42%. So that means if you've owned your house for a while, you most likely have some equity in it. In Yuma, this is what it looks like. The average sales price bottomed out in 2012, and it's been steadily increasing ever since then. In the last few years, especially, has just been going up like crazy. Last year, the average sales price of everything that sold in Yuma was about $270. And if you look at just single family homes, it's $306. So over $300,000. And at the same time, interest rates have been going up. So if you look, this is the last 2 years of mortgage rates. Rates were down in the 3% range in the middle of 2021. And then it's just been steadily going up. We peaked over 7% last October, and it's come back down a little bit, and now it's right back up to 6.71 is this week's average 30-year fixed rate interest rate. So this is a national number. I have trouble finding this just for Yuma, but housing inventory just means the number of houses for sale on the market. And you can see it's been dropping over the last couple of years. There's just fewer houses for sale. Now it's seasonal, so you see these ups and downs, but right now housing inventory, so this 600,000 means there's about 600,000 homes available in the US. Here in Yuma, as of a couple of days ago, there was 323. And I saw another realtor had posted something that said 270 something. So 270, that's just not that many homes. We're selling on average about 250 per month. So if we sell 250 and there's only 270 available, if nothing new comes on the market, we're going to be out of homes really quickly. So that's part of what contributes to home prices continuing to go up. So I wanted to share a story of a recent buyer that we have. The bottom is her existing house, and the top one is the one she wanted to buy. So her existing house, she paid $170,000 for it in 2019, has a $1,239 monthly payment, 4.625 on her loan. She owes about $156. The good part there is she's talked to her agent, and the home should sell for about $320,000. So she's got some equity. So we looked at this new house for $450,000. The interest rate would be about 6.5%. And then even if she dumped all that equity, she would net about $135,000 from selling her house. So even if she dumped all that into a big down payment, her payment's still going to almost double, or maybe a little bit more than double, really. It would go from $1,239 to $2,512. So that's payment shock. What we did is we sat down and looked at her whole financial situation, not just the mortgage and the house payment and the low interest rate, but what other debt did she have? And in her case, so she had a car loan for $662 a month, a little razor payment of $192, credit cards $491. So when you total all that together, it's $53,000 of other debt, monthly payments of $1,345. So when you add those together with the house payment, her total debt payment is $2,584. So that's her budget every month that she's putting out in monthly debt payments. So what we suggested is instead of putting everything towards the down payment, why not include debt inclusion 53,201? So what we're showing her is instead of putting everything towards the down payment, why not pay off other debts? So then we're taking her, if you look at this section over on the right, her existing situation of 2,584, and then instead proposed where her other debts are paid off. So she has just the mortgage. Now the payment's going to be $2,848. So it goes up a little bit from that $2,500. But now her total difference in monthly budget is only going from $2,584 to $2,848. That's only $265 a month. So now she's getting, the end result of that is she gets the house that she wants. Her monthly payment only goes up $265 from what she's currently paying, compared with $1,273. And she's able to get into that house. So pretty cool, right? On top of that, so we're able to put together for clients a move up, purchase, debt consolidation analysis. It gives you a little personalized website where you can see the impact of the different paying off bills and stuff like that, and coordinate those. So any questions about move up buying analysis?
Can you go back to the slide, Daniel, that showed the different right before that? Yeah. I just want to check that out real quick.
So you're looking here is basically just comparing the old loan versus the new one. She's at 4.625 and she's going to 6.5. We're reducing we're giving her a bigger loan now. So her new loan amount is going to be 368. So that's a good thing to point out is, okay, now it's a higher interest rate, whereas she only owes 155 on her mortgage at 4.625. Now she's going to have 368 at 6.5%. That's why the monthly payment is so much higher. Mm-hmm. So, but her, the end result of all of this is that she ends up with one monthly payment, just the mortgage. She's got no other debt payments, right? The razor's paid off, the car's paid off, credit cards are at zero, and she ends up with just the house payment. So when we sat down and looked at that with her, she was like, okay, let's do it. A lot of people, I think, have the misconception that there's some kind of requirement that when you sell your house, you have to roll it all into the next mortgage and put it all down. But there's actually no such requirement. You don't have to do that. You can do whatever you want with that money. It's the equity is your money, and you have the option to do what you want with it. So there's a couple other things we can do. I wanted to show you this really quick. There's other types of strategies. If you don't have other debt to pay off that's going to impact your monthly budget, then there's still buy downs. So temporary buy downs have been pretty popular over the last 6 months to a year. Now, these require seller concessions. So when you're negotiating on your new purchase price, you have to have the seller cover this stuff. So the 1%, 2%, and 3% buy down means if interest rates are at 7%, then on the 3-2-1 buy down, you're going to end up with a 4% rate for the first year. And then it goes to 5, then it goes to 6, then it goes to 7 for the rest of the loan. So let me show you. Here's a quick example on the 2-1 buy down. $650,000 purchase price. The interest rate was 6.99, but for the first year, they get a 4.99. So they're saving $667 a month. Instead of their monthly payment being $39.16, it's only $32.48 for the first year. And then in year 2, it goes up to $35.71. And then for the rest of the 28 years of the loan, it's going to be that $39.16 payment. So the catch of this is the seller has to pay for that. You can't have the buyer paying for that. And the cost is this right here, where it says, here's your payment savings. The first year, it's a savings of $8,013. The second year, it's $4,101. So you've got a little bit over $12,000 of seller concessions that are required. In this case, that's about 2% of the sales price that the seller would have to agree to cover in order to make that happen for the buyer. So another one you can do is there's some adjustable rate programs right now. The ARM loans give you an initial monthly payment, kind of similar to that, to the 2-1 buy down, except for the adjustable rates come with a fixed rate period of either 3, 5, or 7 years. So on these, you get a lower interest rate for the whole first 3, 5, or 7 years. And then after that, it can adjust up or down, depending on what the market's doing. Okay, so if anybody has a scenario, if you want to run your own personal numbers, you could scan that code, send me an email, send me a text, and we will we'd be happy to run personal numbers for anybody who wants it. So, all right, do we have any questions?
So that site that you showed where you can run these numbers, that's something you guys do at your office. It's not like a client interface.
It's a client, so we'll set it up at our office, and then we can send it to the client, and they can play around with the numbers on it. So, but we have to set it up first and send it to them.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
All right. Okay. Well, that only took 14 minutes. If there's no other questions, if you guys have a couple minutes, I'll go through one more example. You guys want to see another example? Okay. This one's not it's not a purchase. This is a refinance, but this is something else that we do with clients right along the same lines of, instead of having to sell the house, what if they want to stick with the same house? So here's a refinance example. These clients bought their house in July of 2015 for $140,000, and we were actually able to refi them about 2 years ago down to 2.49%. It's a 20-year fixed loan. Their payment's only $849. They thought they were set, right? So we just refinanced them again a few months ago. So they had 18 years left to be debt free, right? They did a 20-year fixed mortgage, 2.49%. Their plan at the time was, okay, we're going to keep this forever. We'll pay it off in 20 years and we'll be done. So, but as happens a lot with people, you end up getting into the trap of credit card debt. So here's a list of all the credit cards that we paid off with the refinance loan. They had added all this stuff together. And we do this with clients a lot, where after we pull the credit, we'll look at balances and payments, and they were shocked to see that they had $60,000 of credit card debt. Monthly payments, $1,704. So that's, I think it was 9 different bills here, plus the mortgage. So they're paying 10 different bills every month, and they felt like they were just swimming in debt. So when you total all that together, okay, yeah, the mortgage is only $849, but their total debt payments every month is $2,553. So we were able to refinance them, include that $60,000 of debt into the mortgage, pay off all their other bills, and their new monthly payments $1,225. So that saves them $1,329 a month on the monthly budget. I could already see the wheels are spinning on Randy's face. He's like, wait a minute. Randy's like, I can't ever recommend that to a client, because you're taking their mortgage rate from 2.49 to 5.75. You're increasing their house payment from $850 to $1,250. You're stretching out their loan for another 10 years, right? We're taking them from a 20-year term to a 30. And then we're wrapping up credit cards into their mortgage. We're putting their house on the line to pay off credit card debt. So that's a lot of risk, right? So those are definitely things to consider. In this client's case, here's the review we got from life-changing, right? We were able to take their monthly bills that they had to pay from 10 down to 1. Now they just make 1 monthly payment. When we factored in the blended rate of all those credit cards, around 18%, $60,000 in credit card debt, even with the mortgage at 2.49, the blended rate of all their debt was 7.636. So we're actually reducing the amount of interest that they're paying, reducing their monthly budget. And then we actually put them on track to be debt-free in 7 years and 11 months. So let me show you how that works. By keeping the exact same budget as what they were paying before, that 25, whatever it was, 25, 28, I think, Now, if they continue doing that, that means a principal reduction payment every single month of $1,329 to their mortgage. So if they keep that same budget and put the $1,329 towards the mortgage, that'll have them completely debt-free in 7 years and 11 months. How cool is that? Brannick, something that you might look at with clients like this is maybe instead of principal reductions, because the principal reduction, they could potentially get right back in the same place they were in, right? They might start charging the credit cards up and that kind of thing. So, and then principal reduction payment, maybe they make it, maybe they don't. Sometimes they'll choose not to make it and they'll just spend the extra money. So what if we put them into some kind of investment plan where instead of aggressively paying towards the principal of the mortgage, they're aggressively putting into their retirement plan? I mean, $1,329 a month, that's going to add up pretty quickly into a cash balance. And I would think probably less than 8 years, you'll have enough balance in there to completely pay off the mortgage out of that account if they chose to, right?
Yeah, I was just thinking that based on interest rates, you could do a lot of interesting things. I mean, that added amount of discretionary income can fully fund a couple's IRA contributions for a year and more, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. So both of those are conversations that we're having with clients all the time. Sometimes I think people maybe feel trapped by their low interest rate on their mortgage. They don't want to do it. But when they see this, like this client didn't hesitate. Once we showed her the numbers, hey, you're going to have all of your bills are going to be paid. You'll just have one monthly bill to pay. It's going to be saving you $1,329 a month. And the interest rate's 5. So she didn't hesitate to go from 2.49 to 5.75 because she saw that it's actually, instead of 18 years to be mortgage free, now she's 8 years from that debt free point. So pretty exciting stuff. All right. Anybody else have any questions? All right. Well, reach out if we can help you with anything. Otherwise, thanks for coming.
All right. Thanks for doing this, guys. Very informative. Awesome
All right.
presentation.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
All right, guys. Take care.
All right. Take care. See you later.